I almost said happy Friday. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's episode of Vented Uplift. We didn't have a lot in January, but like in the beginning of the month, and now we're like catching up. Friday, we had a great guest. Tonight, we have Serrina Goodman. Friday, on my 2-2 anniversary, 2 years for my double mastectomy, which is crazy. We have on a great guest who I'll tell you all about her later. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chrisie Canny. I am the CEO of Vented in Brooklyn, the aromatherapy jewelry company with the mission of helping you feel good and do good and smell good. And that do good is that when you buy one, we donate one to a cancer patient. And what that has led us to are meeting amazing, amazing survivors. And we have events and we have fundraisers. And that is how I met the next guest, Serrina Goodman. She is was like a bubble the day she showed, like this, like burst like my heart, like this ray of beautiful sunshine. The day that we had the Third Avenue Festival, Pink on Third, and we had the mammogram bus, Serrina came with that whole a team. She's from AfroShare, and she's going to tell us about that. If you have had a scare, you know somebody who has a breast cancer scare, please tune in or share this with them, because Serrina, like myself, is a survivor, and her mission now is to help others feel not alone. We share the same mission. So everybody, welcome Serrina Goodman. Hold on one second. I messed something up. I was so organized for a second. We're going to listen to I'm here for you. And you so, Serrina, welcome to Vented Uplift.
Thank you so much for having me, Chrissy. I appreciate you inviting me onto your platform.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to do this since October when I met you. You know, but you're a busy lady. Like, you know, like let's get to your I want to share like a little bit of your bio and what you're up to. All right. Miss Goodman is the CEO and founder of Savvy One Productions, business entertainment management company, specializing in business management in stage, television, and media productions. Miss Goodman is the ministry leader of the Christ Fellowship Baptist Church Drama Ministry in Brooklyn, New York. She is the executive producer and host of the self-titled talk show, The Serrina Goodman Show, currently airing every Tuesday at 7 through the BRAIC, the Brick Network. She's also executive producer and host of The Serrina Goodman Show live on Instagram, live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., and the executive producer and the host of the Business of Marriage podcast. Ms. Goodman is a past honoree of the Be Free Award for Best Television Show and recipient of the Wow Be Free Award for Outstanding Television Personality. And I told you, people, she's like just like, wait, just wait until you get to know. You're going to be like, tell me more. Okay. Ms. Goodman has hosted the internationally streamed Be Free Awards in 2016 and 2017, respectfully. Ms. Goodman volunteers with the American Cancer Society's Look Good, Feel Better program. I don't know if I knew this about you. Teaching makeup application and skincare to women undergoing chemo and or radiation treatment. Ms. Goodman is a coordinator for the AfroShare Cancer Support Group, providing breast cancer information and resources to underserved communities. Ms. Goodman also hosts an annual breast cancer fundraiser to support cancer survivors. And there's a whole bunch more, but like, I'm going to need a drink. Like, like I'm a drink of water. I mean, it's Monday, people. I mean, like if this was Friday, yeah, maybe it'd be a drink.
It is dry January, and January's not over yet. So,
oh yeah, I didn't do that, but
you didn't do it. Okay,
but I've been like, I felt like December, I wasn't really like out there. I've really tried to, you know, and as I'm 51 now, and this year I'm going to be 52. I'm really realizing that alcohol's, you know, not the best thing for us, and so when I go out, I really limit what I have now. So I didn't need to like sacrifice. I sacrificed so many other things. I'm not having sugar. I'm not having, you know, like I don't have any wheat products. Do I really need to give up a couple cocktails in the month of January? Did you do it? Are you do? Oh no! Did you freeze? All right. Hopefully we will see if Serrina can join us again on what happened. If anybody who's watching, can you put in the comments if you see me moving or if it's both of us, or is it just Serrina? Up.
I got you. I see you
Okay,
now.
you good. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. All good. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay, good.
I heard you up until you were telling about all your sacrifices, and then poof.
Yeah, okay, they can hear me, and then the connection we lost you. But okay, good.
Oh,
We're good. All right. So, Serena, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna jump into your history and how you can your knowledge that you have now. That's like unbelievable.
well, I mean, I think you did a great job of letting everybody know some of the things that I do. But the thing that you probably didn't know about was the Look Good, Feel Better program. And that's such a great program. That's through the American Cancer Society. So these are women who are undergoing treatment, currently undergoing treatment. And when you go through cancer treatment, as you know, it changes your body. So you may lose eyelashes, your skin is extremely dry. And most people, when you're going through treatment, the last thing you want to do is first look at yourself sometimes, right? Because your body's changed. So we strive to make them feel really beautiful. So we get all this great makeup through, Lancome, Estee Lauder, Bobbi Brown makeup, MAC, and they all donate these makeup items. And then I teach you in the workshop how to put on each item. And then when at the end they start taking selfies and they're laughing, and yeah, it
Yeah,
makes my day. Makes my day.
that's beautiful. So, how does somebody sign up for that, Serena?
So you can go on to the site for the American Cancer Society, but you'd have to be a person who has been either you're a makeup artist, right? You're a certified makeup artist, someone who works in skincare, someone who's been in the industry and is certified. Then you can volunteer to work.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and then if any of my friends, is it something that happens at Hope Lodge in the city?
So
If
you, so
anybody
it,
that's watching wants to go have their
Yeah, it would go through a patient navigator. So you can go onto the site, and as long as you're undergoing treatment, then you can have your patient navigator refer you to the Look Good, Feel Better. And then you just attend the workshop. And it's on all the different hospitals. So whichever hospital you're doing treatment in, then they usually have someone that comes out to that hospital. Like I work Woodhull Hospital, I've worked Sloan, I've worked uh not Brookdale, what's the other one? Presbyterian. Yeah, it's a
That's wonderful.
Methodist Presbyterian. Yeah.
That's
So,
beautiful. Yeah, I saw you so when we met, it was after my breast cancer event. So I did check your cans, and what we did is that we gave makeovers live, like in
oh
front of a
wow.
live audience in a brewery.
Oh
And
wow.
just to see like people like I mean, like makeup is an amazing thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it really can, like I think I started my speech that night. Like the first time you look in the mirror after having like a double mastectomy, like the first time you have the courage to do that, like, is just it's so hard. And
Yeah.
then you don't have you can't move your hands
Yeah.
to like lift and do your hair and do your makeup. So, when like I'm somebody like, every day I gotta do my hair and makeup because that's how like what makes me feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And like to not have that was like really hard, even
Yeah.
though after I got released, I did manage to put my makeup on the car before I went live. But I was like, like trying not to move my arm. So sweet, tell people how you found your cancer, how long ago it was, and what type it was.
So 11 years ago. So let me start by saying I'm originally I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I live in New York, right? So I kind of have like this dual thing going on. So when I'm in a hurry a lot, I call that my New York side. And when I'm chill and calm, that's my Baltimore side. So
Okay.
this particular day, I was going for my mammogram and my New York side was taking over. And this particular day, I had parked on a meter, and this is before they had it where you can do it on your phone. You have to really go out and put the coins in. So I put in, and I'm going for this mammogram, and I have a new technician. This is her first day on the job. And I'm like, girl, I got to go. Like, do this mammogram and let me go. And she kept on taking her time and working on this breast and taking another angle and taking another angle. And this was her first day on the job. But because of her due diligence, she saved my life. Because it was then that they found that I had ductal carcinoma in situ, which is DCIS. They caught it at stage 0, which meant that I didn't have to take chemo, and I was so thankful for that. But I did have to have a lumpectomy where they take out the affected area, and then they go on the outside of the affected area to ensure that they got all the margins, that the margins are cancer free. And then I had over 30 dosage of radiation, which the human body is amazing. And I'll tell you why. Because the first 5 or 10 dosage, you're okay. You could, you're all right. I read a book or something. But when you get down to number 25, and then when you get to 30, those last few dosage are like mega dosage. They want to make sure they got it all, and they got everything, all the cancer cells around it, or just to make sure there's nothing that they miss. That's the one, is that when you take off your bra and your skin comes off with it, that's when you get this whole reality check of what you're going through. And that's pretty much what happened to me, is that they did what I will thank for. They made a little salve for me that I will put on there. And so that gave a barrier between the bra and my skin. And so, but I mean, if anyone was to look at it, you would not even know that I went through that. That's why I say the human body is amazing. And I tell you, when the human body is rejuvenating itself is when you're sleeping. That's why you need those 8 hours, because it's like a bunch of little workmen working in your body, healing things up. So you need that rest, so your body could just be at rest, and it can repair itself. So yeah, that young lady saved my life, and shout out to her. I sent her a thank you a long time ago, and that was her first day on the job, and she did a really, really good job that day.
Yeah, you wonder how, so we're like 1 out of 8 women.
Yeah.
So how many women do they see? So how many do they see in a day? How many cancers are they seeing in a day? And it's her first day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First
I'm
day on
sure.
the job.
Yeah, wow. So let me, like what you went through. Did you have to go into tamoxifen or anything after?
I opted out of tamoxifen. So the reason I opted out of it is because my oncologist and my breast surgeon, they were doing a study, and they were studying women from the United States versus women from the UK, some who had received tamoxifen and some had not. And then they took your numbers and they put them into the system, and they tell you what is your chances of a reoccurrence. So based on my numbers, the chances was really good that I was not going to have a reoccurrence. So I opted out of taking 5 years of tamoxifen. The side effects just outweighed the risk factor is way too high for me, and I opted out of it. And I've not had a reoccurrence, and it's been 11 years. Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. So I have a girlfriend now. Now, see, I was diagnosed with DCIS stage 0.5, right? It just started coming out of the ducts. And like I told you, my sister had cancer. So like I had a higher risk of breast cancer. And for me, like, I've explained, like, so I went for 10 years, I went every 6 months. Like I told you, like I knew that something was going to happen. I was just waiting to catch it. So to me, I could have done a lumpectomy and I could have done radiation. And, even though they wanted me to go on tamoxifen, then if I went that way, because my numbers were higher, and I'm like, nope, cut them off.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, I'm done.
Okay.
And so I have a girlfriend now. It's her year. Like she did, but she had to have so much treatment, the poor thing. She had a lumpectomy, radiation, chemotherapy, very,
very aggressive.
very. So what do you do when you go back? How do you handle going under, like, that's, like, I was like, oh, no more mammograms because I can't handle that anymore. Mm-hmm. So how is it for you when you're going for a mammogram? Are you every year, or are you every 6 months?
I'm every year. I always have anxiety. I also have dense breasts. So with dense breasts, things get hide behind it. You've got fatty tissue. I always get a mammogram and a sonogram.
Okay.
It's always anxiety. And I'll tell everyone, whenever you go for a mammogram, go the same time every year. And the reason I say that is because whatever it is in there, God forbid, it hasn't been in there longer than 12 months. But if you start going 2 years and skip a year because it's uncomfortable, I tell you, the diagnosis is way more uncomfortable. So you're going to deal with it. Take 2 Tylenols before you go. It'll kick in afterwards and you'll be okay. So every single year that I go for a mammogram, it's always anxiety. I always have anxiety. And then I have to talk myself off the ledge,
And how
right?
do you do that? Do
Because
you turn your into your faith at that moment? You let God have your fear? What is it that you do that you could share with other women?
yeah, for me, it's just understanding. So for faith is the biggest component for me. It's the only thing that got me through this. Like I have to have that. The spirituality, I would say I'm more spiritual than religious. I don't want to say religious because that's another level for me. But spiritually in tune is where I'm at. Spiritually, I know what is going to be, right? And so how I handle it is a whole nother story. I know I'm a warrior. So whatever comes my way, you're not going to take me out without a good fight. I'm going to fight until my knuckles are white. So therefore, whatever way it's going to go is the way it's going to go. And once I start talking to myself like it, I go in there, I take my mammogram, I wait for the results, and so far, so good.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
God for that.
I just I couldn't do it anymore. I was like I was so done after so long. I'm like, but that doesn't mean that I'm all clear, even though like, like I had
Yeah,
that, we all have chances and we all have to be diligent and we all have to follow
exactly.
and know our girls and check our cans.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so tell us, like, so okay, now it's 11 years ago. When did you start volunteering? Because I'm somebody that like screams like, that's how you get through stuff. So when did
Okay.
you start?
So this is an interesting story. So I told you about the Look Good, Feel Better program, right? So one day I'm sitting there, I'm in treatment. And this I started volunteering for them first. And so I saw this whole thing.
While you were in treatment.
I was in treatment. I was in treatment at first. So then I see this whole thing that says that you could get free makeup. And I love free makeup, especially good stuff. So I said, all these designers, these makeup designers here, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I need one of those bags. So I sign up and I go sit in the class. I know how to put on makeup. I started off as a full-size model many years ago. Makeup is what I do. Is every day I do what I do every day. So I said, but I want this kit. I want this kit. So I sit in this classroom and it just so happens that it was just overwhelming. It was one instructor, it was like 22 women. And I felt sorry for her. She couldn't get through the room. And I said to her, do you need some help? I can help you. And she said, you know how to do makeup? I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, help me. So I helped her. And then after the class, she said, I need you to help me. And I started with the American Cancer Society. And then I went on an event with them and I met someone from Share Support Group. And she said, I think you make a great ambassador. And that was about 5 years ago. So I've been volunteering since I was in treatment. And then I started working with the Cancer Society to the Share Cancer Group 5 years ago.
Amazing. And then all these shows and everything else. What is it, you know, like the feeling when you volunteer?
I can't even tell you the very first time I did a women's group with the makeup afterwards, and they took the selfies and they want me in all the pictures with them. They never want to forget me. Once they cleared the room and I was cleaning up, I started crying because that's the greatest reward, right? It wasn't about the time. It's not about the money. It was the reward of seeing when you hear the stories of women who their loved ones, they were married and the husband said, I don't want you anymore. You're not perfect enough. Their self-esteem is in an all-time low. And to see them smile and then, do their turbans and then put on their lipstick and do a selfie and feel pretty. One lady said, I just want to put my face in a plastic bag and keep it there.
Okay, that sounds like bad, but okay, but
Yeah, it's bad. That's a little extreme. But I understood what she meant. She knew that she couldn't duplicate it. So she just wished that she could keep it a little longer. That's the great reward of it all. And I can't tell you the high it is when you're able to help someone just feel better about themselves, even if it's for a day, a moment, because there's so many moments that they didn't feel good about themselves. So yeah, I absolutely love it.
I mean, to have a spouse leave you like at a time like that
Oh
is just
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they do. I don't understand how anyone could be that hard-hearted and just leave someone at a time when they're at such a low point in their life, many of the women. But they have, and they do every day. Yeah.
yeah. So at Share now, as Share ambassador, you want to tell people a little bit? Like people know a lot more about American Cancer Society. I when we first started, um, we worked with Share Latinas.
Latina share. Okay.
So but please tell everybody what it is and how they can learn more and what goes on there at Share.
Yeah, so Share's been around for about 40 years. And what we do is we go into the communities, and that's why you have Latina Share. They go into the Latin community, you have Chinese Share, and you have Afro Share. So in my division, we go into a lot of the underserved communities, and we talk about the importance of mammogram and early detection, because that makes a difference. The early detection makes a difference on your treatment plan, your prognosis, how well you're going to come out of this thing. So we go into the community and we encourage people to do their mammograms. We talk to the community. We talk to them about women cancers. Like some people think that if you get a pap smear is going to tell you if you have uterine cancer. It won't tell you if you have uterine cancer. It's only going to tell you if cervical cancer, but it doesn't tell you if you have ovarian cancer, uterine cancer. It's a Q-tip that they stick in there, and they're going to swab it and take some of those cells, and they're going to test it to see if you have cervical cancer. But a lot of women really don't know that, and you really don't know if you have uterine cancer unless when you start to get signs and symptoms, right? And then now we've got something to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, so we work on bringing to the community information about women cancers and breast cancers. And breast cancer is not just for women. So breast cancer, the reason we say breast cancer and women cancers is because men get breast cancer as well. Yeah,
True.
not at 1 out of 8, but I
The
think 1 out of 35 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's high.
There's still debate whether, my father died of lung cancer 20 years ago. Oh my God, it'll be 21 this year.
Sorry to hear
And
that.
well, thanks. That's why I do everything, cancer is very prevalent in my family. Every aunt and uncle, my mother had, mommy's not as good, but she had thyroid cancer. My uncle, like everybody, like both sides. The doctor, when they like take it, I'm like, oh, you ready? All right, let's go. Okay, this person, colon cancer, like,
Yeah.
So wait, I just lost the point. What was I saying?
Well, we were talking about the cancers, and we were talking about sharing the information.
Right. I still lost what I was talking about. That's still not that wasn't the point I was
You
trying
were
to
going to
make.
say something about your family in particular, I think. It sounds like you were going to go so.
Not really my brain. It's like, this is what happens when I didn't sleep last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll come back to you
It'll
throughout the
come
course
back.
of the conversation.
It'll come back to me at 3:00 in the morning, Serrina. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yes. But so you're out there. Do you go on the mammo bus all the time and talk to people?
Yeah, well, it depends on the mammal bus. So some mammal buses, they don't have enough room, and they don't want. So when you saw me, I was an ambassador. Now I'm a coordinator. So I coordinate all the ambassadors now, and I still go out there. Yeah. So when you met me, that's what I was doing, going onto the bus, talking to women before they get their mammogram. After they do all their paperwork, I talk to them. I give them the signs and symptoms of breast cancer. I give them information, and then they go in and they do their mammogram. So we do the buses. We also do presentations, like if it's your church or your organization and you want to do, or if you're a PTA, you want to do, I did a PTA, like, I don't know, about 2 months ago. I do health events, and sometimes we'll do a presentation or we'll do tabling. And we'll just have the table with a lot of information. We answer questions and stuff for people. So we do that as well. We also do virtual. So we'll do a virtual presentation for you on breast cancer, or it could be women cancers altogether. We'll do all of the others as well. Yeah. So we do a lot. And then we give information to the pantries. Wherever we could get the information out to people, that's what we do.
That's wonderful. So what are some symptoms or warning signs that you could share with us?
So for breast cancer, some of the symptoms of breast cancer is, if you look in the mirror, and I always tell people, you look in the mirror, right? We always have one side a little bigger than the other, because I swear I got one foot that shoe always hurt. So I know the other shoe fit perfect. So it's not abnormal to have one part of your body a little bigger than the other. But when it's noticeably bigger, then there could be a problem. So if you look at your breast in the mirror and you see that one side is one breast is larger than the other, that might be a little concern. Then if you look at the nipples and you see that they're inverted, if you see that any of the nipples are leaking fluid and you're not lactating, if you see around the nipples are dry, flaky, that could be a sign. If you look at the breast and you see any dimpling in the breast where it's not smooth, and you see like the little caving in of the breast, if it's hot to the touch, when you touch it, it's very, very warm, very, very warm, or is this causing you pain?
Right.
So
Yeah,
those are some
my
of them.
friend Maureen, she's like, she was in the gym and she talks about, she's like, "Oh, I got like a fat dimple." And her friend was like, "No, no."
Oh, see,
And she went on a mammo bus, and there was a free mammo bus in the
wow,
community, and she went, and that's how she found that she had
oh
breast cancer.
wow, wow,
Yeah, just by like sharing sharing the knowledge. Like we have
yeah,
to share, we have to share, we have to share.
yeah,
There's not too much that you can
yeah,
we have to educate each other.
yeah, yeah. But we get in the habit, our secrets can kill us. Yeah, because sometimes in families, like fortunately for you, like your family shares the information, right? But there are some families culturally that they really don't share that information. You just say grandma died from some woman thing, but we don't know what the woman thing was,
Right.
right? So now I think people are getting more open with sharing what type of cancers it was, and what the treatments was and when did it happen, because we knew that we need to know that information. I have this form that I use called Her Story, and
Okay.
it's really about you getting your family history and putting it down in Her Story, and just to have that and pass it around. Also, like when you do a family gathering, maybe you want to share each other's Her Story, right? Make sure we all got the same information, because that's how we save lives.
Do you have that like in a PDF? Like, or
uh
a JPEG or something?
I can, you know what, yeah, I do. I can actually scan it to you.
Yeah, I would love to share, just
Yeah,
post it
yeah,
for
yeah,
everybody to
I'll send
share.
it to you. I'll email it to you.
Yeah,
I'll email it to you. Make copies. You can share it in your family, share it with your friends. They should all have it. Yeah,
right, because when they go and you sit down and they're like, "Okay, we need to decide what kind of treatment that you need, and we need to get you these numbers." Like,
exactly.
you have a 50% chance of recurrence or a 1% chance of
Yeah,
recurrence.
exactly.
And I remember like, okay, all right, like, and it's overwhelming, when you
It's
get like, oh, oh, maternal side, paternal side, go into this, like who in trying to like get everything. And I'm like, and they're like, okay, well, what kind of cancer was it? And blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
And I'm
Yeah,
like Facebooking, messaging people like I haven't spoke to in,
yeah,
10 years.
yeah. That's what
Hey, what
happens.
kind of cancer did your mother have? Like, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is
a lot.
really important.
And you
One
should have that information, and you need it, especially women who are under 40 who may be in need of a mammogram, because we have a lot of young women who are dying from cancer, breast cancer, under 40 years of age, because they're not getting mammograms. But they don't want to give you the mammogram unless you could show that there's a family history. And
right.
and then you can get a referral in order to get a mammogram.
Right. So what is it? So I was diagnosed at 49,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then it's like my daughter is supposed to start her mammos 10 years. Well, that still takes her to 39. I think maybe she's supposed to start at 29.
Yeah, and especially,
Up to like,
yeah, yes, especially when it's so close, right? So I would say she could start around 29. I would say she should
right.
start around 29. If she's not having any signs, any symptoms, no discomfort, I would say at least 29. Yeah, let her start.
It's scary. All right. So
Yes.
let's talk about where people can find you on your show and or where to watch, where to learn. You want to talk about your shows to tell people what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a writer, producer, and director of faith-based film, stage, and television. I have the Serrina Goodman show, comes on Tuesday nights, and that's through the Brick Network. You can find that on channel 67 on your Optimum. You can try it on 42, Verizon. And then you can watch it on brickartsmedia.org. So that's BRIC, artsmedia.org, channel 1 at 7 o'clock. And that's on Tuesday nights.
Awesome.
And then on Wednesday at 8, we do the Instagram live. So I'll come on live. So that's Serrina 101. So if you go onto Instagram, you'll find me and just follow me. It'll tell you when I'm on. And then you can watch the show there. The Business of Marriage podcast is also on the Brick Podcast and Apple Podcast. So you can just put in the Business of Marriage, and it'll pop up on that. You can listen to that as well.
So what are you talking about on there?
So I talk about marriage being a business. Marriage is two businesses coming together. And if you were to choose a business partner, right, it's the same way you should choose a marriage partner. And it's some different things that you should, it's really geared to those who are contemplating marriage, those who are married, because we talk about some different subjects in there, and those who maybe decided that they don't want to be married any longer. So it's a little bit for everyone. And there's a lot of different topics that we cover. Right now, we were talking about whether you should get a prenup or not. Why is it important to get one? Or why would you think you shouldn't need one? Everyone has a different take on it. So, yeah, we have some interesting guests. We have some young guests and some more mature guests, some seasoned guests who talk about their marriage and, some of the things that they've learned that they're willing to pass on to someone else. So it's really, really interesting. So we got a lot going on.
I've been listening to it. I want to get the right name of it. I've been trying to, like, instead of like watching Netflix, I've been trying to I'm like, okay, Chrissy, really, can we like not fry our brain anymore? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like really educate myself. Like, I want to work on my brain. Like as you saw it, like, sometimes my brain's just like, menopause brain. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It just, the thought goes out of my head. So I'm like, I really want to research things that will strengthen my brain and who I am. And so wait, so let me find it. So I find the right name. Okay, where is the Spotify? There it is. All right. So the Resetter podcast. It's
okay.
And she had a guest on talking about 3 chairs. This woman did a TED Talk. I haven't watched the TED Talk yet. It's like 18-minute TED Talk about the 3 chairs that we have in life and where we sit in life. And like when you're in the middle, you're centered. And when you're one way to the left, you're obnoxious and, so full of yourself. And when you're the other way, you're self-doubt and like have no confidence. And when you're on either of those side chairs, you should not pick a spouse. Because you're going to pick the, either somebody like that's in that depressed kind of thing, or somebody that's so obnoxious that they're going to boss you around and, belittle you. Right. So, and then what happens is women get older and they have more time to concentrate. They move into the middle chairs with their confidence, and then they can't tolerate that person that's always been that way. Because they've changed and grown and they're confident and they just can't deal with it. So it's if you'd be interesting for you to listen to this to see I was like, oh, this makes it. And then she went into a whole conversation about friendships, and that when you pick a girlfriend like that too, when you're sitting in that side chair, and then what happens, that transition when you move with confidence and you're like, wait a minute, why don't I have support anymore? And she's like, you want to always go for that girl that's your cheerleader, that's really really means it, that's not jealous of you, and just like who we all want to surround ourselves. But I'll send you the name. So
please do, because I want to check it out, because I've had to say goodbye to a few folks in 2023. I had to. It was inevitable.
She talks about, she has a friendly every year, okay, who's moving, who's not, or and that you have the inner tighter circle, and then you can have different groups of people, but to really surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. So it was really cool. I'm going to send you that. So I'm going to stop talking your ear off. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You have two kinds of stories, and all this is why we tell our breast stories, because you have to pick the decision that's right for you and right for your
Exactly.
body and what you know in your heart and in your mind.
Yeah.
And no,
Yeah.
educate yourself,
Exactly.
educate yourself. So
Absolutely.
reach out to Serrina Goodman if you'd like her to come, come inform your group or your PTA or like anything you
Yeah.
said. So,
Just
yeah,
hit me. Just DM me on Instagram. And we love to. We love to come out. And the biggest thing is, Chrissy, is that you have to be your own best advocate. That's what it is. The doctors are not the be all and end all. You got to do your homework, and you're going to make decisions that you could live with or not. But at the end of the day, it should be your decision.
yeah. Like you said, why be your own advocate, right? Like, so when they said my choices to me and my recurrence, I said, nope, cut them off. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, you sure? You sure? And I'm like, yes, I know what's right for me. I walked out of that building so at peace. And the day of my surgery, my doctor looked at me and she went, well, you were right.
You see?
Because there was cancer hiding that they did not see.
See?
She's like, you were right. I'm like, I know, I listened to my gut. I'm like, you
That's
would
it.
tell me I didn't need to do it, but I'm telling you I needed to. I
Exactly.
just knew.
Exactly. And don't listen when they tell you it's nothing. Don't worry about it. They have a habit of saying that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's to get you out of their office, but don't worry about it. I'm sure it's nothing.
But
So
but if that's the doctor that you're with, go get another doctor that's somebody that
exactly.
will listen to you.
Exactly. You have to have a doctor that will listen to you and take your concerns very seriously and not tell you, hey, you're good, you're okay, don't worry about it. Because I've had many women. Every year we do an annual breast cancer event, and we have honorees. And I would love for you to come, Chrissy. You have to come. It's going to be on this year is going to be October 19th.
Oh,
October 19th.
yours is a Saturday.
Yes, it's a
My
Saturday.
my event's the night before, so you got to come to my event.
It's a deal. So
You should come do somebody's makeup.
Okay, I can.
We had amazing women doing people's makeup last year, but we can
Come on. I can do something. I can help out.
I can come help you too. Let me know what I can do.
There you go. And so I would love for you to come. I'll maybe present one of the awards. We give the Breast Cancer Warrior Awards to honorees. It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful event.
Where's your event?
It's going to be at Christ Fellowship Baptist Church at 11 Sumter Street in Brooklyn, New York. And it usually starts around 5:00 is when we open up the VIP reception for all our honorees. So you got to come.
That means I can sleep in late and get to you. Yes.
Yeah.
And you got to come to Staten Island. So
it's a deal. I'm going to drive. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to drive to Staten Island. I have a friend that lives in Staten Island. So I said to him one day, I was like, well, why did you move to Staten Island? He said, so my relatives don't visit me because they got to pay.
I thought you were going to say so you can have a parking space.
No, he said so his relatives won't visit him. And he's right. They don't visit him.
Okay, that's not true for us. That's not true for us. But
it's true for his family. So it worked out for him because he says nobody bothers to visit him. I think maybe once or twice a year. He's good with that. He's fine.
Okay, that's not why we moved here. We want a parking spot and to be able to buy a home. That's why we're here.
And it's there. And it's a beautiful community. He lives in a beautiful community. And he said he doesn't want to be bothered. It's fine. At least he was honest with himself. He said, no, I'm going to go way out. I'm going to Staten Island. He said, they're not coming. And he's right. They don't come. So it works out. I guess it's a win-win.
Well, all right. So it's been so fun talking to you. Thank you for sharing your light with all of us and all of your knowledge. Again,
thanks for having me.
You have a question for Serrina, DM her, follow her on Instagram and her story. Go listen to her show tomorrow and Wednesday. She's got a lot going on, so catch up. And thank you for doing all that you do for everybody and helping other survivors feel great and beautiful. So thank you so much, Serrina.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Chrissy, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Hang out 1 second. We'll end and I'll say goodnight. Hold on.